Hi ho und guten Tag to another video about the Death Guard, more precisely about the Poxwalkers. Yes, I have been away for quite a while, but I hope you forgive me my absence and enjoy the video now. Like with my Black Marines, I am using Vallejo Panzer Grey as well for my Poxwalkers. As you might know, this is first and foremost not only a primer layer, but also my first shadow layer. And since I don't want it too dark, I'm not using black as a primer, so I'm using this very dark gray. I'm using my airbrush here, but of course you can use replicants nonetheless. It really is up to you what you use for priming. Alright, let's move on with Bone White from Vallejo and Ulthuan Grey from GW. I am using Bone White as my first highlight layer, coming in with my airbrush in an angle somewhere between 45 and 60 degrees, and then Ulthuan Grey from GW straight from above to have my final highlight. Yeah, I'm using my airbrush here, but of course you can do that with replicants as well. Marco Frisoni did a fantastic tutorial on how to use replicants very effectively with different kinds of caps. I linked this video in the description, and you should check it out. He's a fantastic guy and he does a really good job, even with replicants. So this is the big difference to my Plague Marine video. I'm shading the skin of the Poxwalkers with a mix of Athonian Camoshade and Coelia Greenshade. And the reason being is that for the Plague Marines the shading was mainly done by streaking grime itself. But since you take off a lot of streaking grime, I wanted to have a different kind of skin color for the Poxwalkers beneath. Let's move on to our fleshy and tentacly bits. For this I'm using Contrast Magos Purple by GW. And for my opinion, it's the perfect mix between purple and, you know, a more kind of pink and fleshy skin color kind of tone. And that's why I really prefer this one over any other purple or flesh color washes, let's call it like that. And yeah, it's perfect for all organic stuff. And what's more organic than tentacles and, you know, open flesh wounds? Ah, well, shame on me. I forgot to record something. I used Basilicanum Grey GW for all the bony bits, and Black Templar in this case for the boots and other parts of the, well, clothing. Next up are all the wires and hoses, for which I usually use Contrast Space Wolves Grey, which is a total personal decision. I prefer it over all other grey and blackish kind of colors, because it delivers a nice contrast as well to the fleshy bits and, you know, the skin of the Poxwalkers. For the clothing that the Poxwalkers are wearing, I decided to use a contrast color again, Gryph-Hound orange. And the idea behind it is that the Poxwalkers actually made these clothing bits out of old, you know, working overalls, which are orange quite often. the metal parts. And for this I'm using again Vallejo metal color, in this case Exhaust Manifold, which is a quite grimy, dirty, dark kind of silver. And the idea of course is that you wouldn't see shiny blinky metal parts on these kind of characters. And again, please try them. Please try Vallejo metal color. I'm not getting paid by Vallejo. I just want to, you know, give a good recommendation. And those metal colors are fantastic. The next step is an airbrush step again. I'm airbrushing Carbourg Grimson, which is a kind of, you know, bloody kind of wash from GW, onto all the parts which you know, are open wounds, which would be sore probably, you know, from rubbing parts, etc, etc. But of course you don't need to use an airbrush for this. You could also use a dry brush technique or glazing. That's really up to you. The next step is the most important and my favorite step. It's messing around with Streaking Grime from AK Interactive, which is a enamel based color. This means it's not water based like the acrylics you are used to work with, and it also means you should work in a well ventilated area. And for those people who haven't seen any other videos of mine already, I'm splashing this stuff all over the miniature because I'm well aware that I can remove it later on, which is probably the biggest advantage of enamel based colors. And that's exactly what I'm doing next. I'm using White Spirit and a Q-tip and a dabbing motion to remove the excess where I see fit. And I would really like to stress again, if you work with enamel based colors in White Spirit, do this in a well ventilated area and or wear a respirator. I'm doing both because, you know, better safe than sorry. Adding and removing as much color as you like, even hours after you added the first layers, is of course one of the biggest advantages of enamel or oil-based colors in that respect. But it's not like they're the magic sauce you would put on every dish you prepare. It's like with contrast colors. They're fantastic on all organic surfaces, but on flat surfaces not so much. So they are a great tool, but only for the right occasion. Alrighty, and after the enamel has dried, you should have something like this. I covered the miniatures in a mix of matte and satin varnish afterwards to protect the layers, and after varnishing I added some technical colors. I did this because if I would have done this prior varnishing, the effects would have been lost. I added Nurgles Rot by GW on all the boils and puzzles, and a Ardcoat by GW, which is a gloss varnish essentially, onto all the fleshy bits and tentacles to have them shine in a quite wet appearance. The weapons were done as well. I used Typhus Corrosion by GW and Riser Rust by GW to achieve those rust effects. That's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. I'm hoping to add new videos to this channel soon. I won't promise you a video a week because, you know, my real hobby life keeps me very busy. But I hope to see you soon again. That's it for today. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.